Welcome back. Right now, I'm very excited to speak with a very inspirational and influential athlete. Paralympian curler Steve Emt is here with us today. He'll be competing in the Games in Beijing and has an incredible story. Steve, thanks for being here today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me today.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more about you. You have quite the journey where you've been to get to where you are today. So I'd love to start at the beginning. Tell me a little bit about yourself and growing up and your life before your accident.
Yeah, growing up, I was an athlete in every imaginable way. I love, being on the fields and the courts and the gyms and just being active all the time. I had a couple older siblings that were playing sports. My parents were coaching, so I was always on the court, the fields with older kids and just going out there competing, having a great time. By the time I finished high school, I was a 3-sport letter winner. I was an All-American soccer goalkeeper. I was an All-State basketball player, and I still own all the scoring records for my high school. And I was an All-Conference baseball player, getting recruited by a bunch of schools all around the country to go play soccer and basketball for them. I decided to go to West Point, United States Military Academy, and play soccer and basketball. I was there for a couple of years. Unfortunately, my father passed away when I was a freshman, and I didn't deal with it the right way. I didn't, take the time to get away and be with my family. So my academics suffered a little bit. I ended up resigning from the academy. I came back to Connecticut and enrolled at University of Connecticut and walked onto the basketball team. So for 2 years, from 1992 to 1994, I was a walk-on at the UConn men's basketball team, playing with guys like Ray Allen and Kevin Ollie and Scott Burrell and all these future pros, and just living the dream and having a blast doing it.
And where were you at in your life when the accident occurred?
I thought I was set, 25 years old. And normally at 25, people were getting out of college and getting set in our careers and moving forward and preparing for the future with the family and the jobs and whatnot. But at 25 years old, I made a terrible decision to drink and drive. And, I woke up from a coma after a few days and a horrific crash and a lot of damage to my body. And I was told I was never going to walk again. So to hear that and wake up from that and realize, everything I've been through in my life, being a successful athlete and a West Point cadet, UConn basketball player, and being a success, and all of a sudden now at 25 years old, we wake up and, out of coma and told you're never going to walk again, you're paralyzed. And that was a huge mistake on my part, obviously, a terrible decision that I made, and I take full responsibility for it. But, it's time we got to move on.
And how did you move on? How were you able to recover from that and get to where you are now as this incredible athlete, also motivational speaker? You're very open and honest about your story, being able to influence many people. So I'm sure that was a long journey, but if you could summarize that point for us, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. It was a long journey. It was months, years of getting, the rehab and getting through it and getting the therapy. The physical part of it, obviously I beat my body up pretty bad, had multiple injuries, and I was close to dying because of the accident. There was about 5 weeks after my accident when I was in rehab that I had a little setback in my physical therapy, my rehab, and I had a couple days in bed where I couldn't get out of bed. I had to stay completely in bed the whole time for 2 days, and that's when I hit rock bottom, and those were the darkest days of my life. And that's when I thought, maybe this world would be a better place without me in it. Who's going to take care of me for the rest of my life? Who's going to want me? Who am I going to be a burden on? And I allowed, and the key word there, I allowed all these negative thoughts to come into my mind, and it ruined me for 2 days. And fortunately, I got back on track with my rehab. I got into a swimming pool, aquatic therapy. That was an incredible feeling for me. And I made a decision right there in the swimming pool about five weeks after my accident that I need to change my thinking here. I need to get back to who I was before the accident, the life of the party. And, I'm 6'5" and 230. I come into the room and I suck the air out of the room, and I love people and I love being with people and around them. And I need to change my thinking. So I did it. I came up with this plan. I came up with this, 6 words, my book, You Decide. And I had to take control of my life and get on with it and move on, or else I was going to go home and I was going to die physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. I wasn't going to do that. And it's time to move on and accept what had happened. And until we accept what happens in our life, we can't allow to go forward. The healing process can't begin. I accepted it. It's my responsibility. It's time to move on. Let's go out there and lead a successful life.
When you look back at the experiences that you've had and the obstacles that you've overcome in your life to now, would you describe the accident as a defining moment, or do you think that there's been more influential moments afterwards or before that really have brought you to where you are now?
The accident was absolutely a defining moment for me, and I don't regret anything in my life. And I get asked that all the time, all around the country when I'm speaking. Do you regret that night? Do you regret anything? No, and as crazy as it sounds, I don't, because it has absolutely defined me as who I am as an individual, as a person. I am a better person now than I was before my accident. I was doing some stupid things as far as being reckless with my body and drinking and driving. And now it's, every day is a blessing. It's beautiful. Life is beautiful. So the accident absolutely defined me as an individual, but more importantly, the people that have come into my life in the last 26 years, the mentors, and not the heroes, because, again, my book, going back to my book, it's all about, looking at yourself as your hero. But these people that come into our lives and teach us from past experiences, the mentors, the coaches I've had, from Coach Calhoun at UConn, my old former high school basketball coach, Michael Jordan. I met with him for 30 minutes, and he's a mentor of mine. Other people, my curling coaches, Tony Colaccio, my former curling coach, just incredible people that come into our lives, and we allow these great people to come in, and we take the good from the good, and we leave the bad from the bad, and we have mentors. So as much as the accident was a defining part of my life, without a doubt, the people that have come into my life, my family, my community, incredible people, helped me define me and keep me going on track. It's where I am today.
And how did you get involved in curling? What introduced you to that sport?
I had no idea what this sport was. 8 years ago, I was at 43 years old. Again, I thought I was a teacher at the time. I'm a high school basketball coach at the time. I thought I was good. I go to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, rolling around the town one day, and this gentleman comes around the corner, and he comes up to me. He says, "Are you local?" And I said, "No, I'm from Connecticut, about 2.5 hours away." And there was about 10 seconds of silence between us. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I thought I was dead. Like, I'm getting stalked here. Like, I'm trying to get away from this guy. And I finally said to him, "Do you mind telling me why you asked that?" And he said, "Well, I trained with the Paralympic curling team here on the Cape. I saw you pushing up the hill. And with your build, I can make you into an Olympian in a year." And I'm like, "Hey, what the heck is curling? And B, where do I sign up? I heard Olympics, let's go." And so I got stalked into the sport. Was fortunate. That man was Tony Colaccio, again, a huge mentor of mine. He walked around, he parked his truck, and he walked around for 40 minutes in that town until he found me. So I got stalked into the sport of curling. Blessed and fortunate that he found me and he introduced me to this wonderful sport. And here I am now, just the last 8 years, just representing Team USA and two-time Paralympian.
What a great way that you were able to get introduced to the sport. So you're competing this winter in Beijing. This isn't your first games. What are some goals that you have heading into this one?
Improve. Every day improve. But when Pyeongchang in 2018, we did not do well. We were 12th, actually. We were last in the Paralympics. We played poorly. Individually, we were good as a team. Individually we were good, but as a team, we were awful. So we came in last. We've revamped some people. I'm the only one from that team that's left over. We have 4 new members, and we have an incredible team. And we're looking forward to going to Beijing. We were out there and about 2 months ago at the World Championships. We took 4th place. So we're improving and we're getting there, and we're going to go out there and have an incredible experience and have a smile on our face every day as we represent Team USA and go for the podium and get that gold medal in the Paralympic Games.
Well, we're very excited to be able to watch you and cheer for you from Park City all the way to Beijing. And also, though, I want to ask you about other things that you're involved in. You're a motivational speaker. You've written a book. Tell me about that.
Incredible experiences. I've been told, since my accident and everything I've been through in my life, that I need to write a book. And, who has time to write a book? It's crazy. It's a huge, outtake. COVID hits, unfortunately. We've got time. So I put the time in to write a book. I put all my book is half about my life. It's half about the action plan that I came up with to get through difficult decisions in my life that anybody can use. It's really simple. It's just 6 simple steps that if we follow, we can be successful. The speaking has been incredible, an opportunity to get out there and speak to schools, speak to corporations about my experiences about drinking and driving, the dangers of it, making good decisions, more importantly, being a Paralympian, leadership and teamwork and overcoming, obstacles. Life is beautiful, and every day I'm blessed to be alive, and I'm lucky to be sitting here today in front of you and spending time with you and your audience. And I'm paralyzed, and it should have been a lot worse, but it wasn't. I'm here. Let's make the best of it every day, and we move on and be successful. Life is beautiful.
Well, and Steve, you exemplify overcoming obstacles from a young age, from your college experience where you had to go to a different school because of poor grades, but you overcame that, were able to do great with your next step, and then the accident, a huge defining moment for you that really changed everything about your life. But once again, you're able to overcome those rough weeks after the accident and be where you are today. I really am impressed with your vulnerability, your willingness to be honest, and now where you're at, being able to compete as a Paralympian in Beijing, writing a book, all the things. How can we find out more about you?
Well, you can go to my website, www.steveemt.com. Steve Emt, right there at the bottom of the screen is my name. You can find information about me there, about my speaking. My book is available there. You go right to Amazon. It's currently number 3 in the top 10 on Amazon. Just, you nailed it a couple times here. Just, overcoming adversity and appreciating what we have and getting on with life. And, we only got one of them, and we have to take care of ourselves first.
Well, thank you so much, Steve Emt, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, hearing your story. So looking forward to, once again, cheering for you in Beijing. Wish you and your team all the luck. Looking forward to definitely seeing that. And learning more about you, you can head to Steve Emt's website online. You can also find his book at Amazon and more. So we appreciate Steve's time here with us today. We'll be back right here on Mountain Connections right after this.